Hello students, welcome back to your physics class. This is your physics teacher. Hope you all are fit and fine. In the previous video you have learnt about density and its measurement, and we have done the measurement of density of regular and irregular solids. Now today we are going to determine the density of a liquid. How to determine the density of a liquid? For this we need any liquid, measuring cylinder and a weighing balance or a spring balance, which is used to measure the weight of the objects. Now what we have to do? Firstly we will take the measuring cylinder with the markings done over it, and then we will measure its mass with the help of a weighing balance or spring balance. Let the mass of this measuring cylinder be m1, or we will consider it that it is equal to 20 gram. m1 is equal to 20 gram. Then we will pour any liquid into this measuring cylinder and we will again weigh its mass. After putting the liquid into this measuring cylinder, again we will measure the mass. The mass has now increased, and let the mass be m2. m2 we can consider, let it be equal to 30 gram. Then we will calculate the mass of the liquid which is contained in this cylinder by finding the difference between the two masses. This is the mass of the liquid which is contained in the cylinder, and it is equal to the mass of the measuring cylinder which is filled with the liquid minus the mass of the empty measuring cylinder. So in this way we can calculate the mass of the liquid, which is equal to the mass of the liquid contained in the cylinder. That will be equal to 30 gram minus 20 gram, and it will be equal to 10 gram. Now we can note down the volume of the liquid which is contained in this measuring cylinder by noting down the level of the liquid. For example, this is the level of the liquid in this measuring cylinder, then the volume will be equal to 90 ml. So that is the volume of the liquid which is occupying in the measuring cylinder, and it is represented as capital V. It is equal to 90 ml. Now we can calculate the density of the liquid using this formula. Density is equal to mass over volume. Now mass we are having that it is equal to 10 gram and volume is 90 ml. We know 1 ml is equal to 1 centimeter cube. So it will be equal to 10 gram divided by 90 centimeter cube. So it will be equal to 1 over 9 gram per centimeter cube. We can calculate the value, and this will be the density in terms of gram per centimeter cube. So in this way we can calculate the density of a liquid. Next we have some numericals based on the concept of density. First one is 10 liters of spirit has a mass of 8 kg. Calculate its density in gram per centimeter cube and kilogram per meter cube. 10 liters of spirit, that means the volume is 10 liter and it has a mass of 8 kg. Mass of spirit is equal to 8 kg and volume of spirit is equal to 10 liters. Firstly, we will convert it into gram per centimeter cube. We know that in 1 kilogram there are 1000 grams. So 8 multiplied by 1000, it is equal to 8000 gram. And 10 liters can be written as 10,000 centimeter cube, because we know that in 1 liter there are 1000 milliliters, and we know 1 milliliter is equal to 1 centimeter cube, so it can be written as 1000 centimeter cube, and 10 multiplied by this 1000 centimeter cube will be equal to 10,000 centimeter cube. Next we can find out the density. The density of the spirit will be equal to mass per unit volume. Mass is 8000 gram divided by volume 10,000 centimeter cube. So it will be equal to 0.8 gram per centimeter cube. Next, density of spirit in kilogram per meter cube. That will be equal to 1000 multiplied by this 0.8, which is equal to 800 kilogram per meter cube. From where this 1000 has come? Because we know that 1 kilogram per meter cube is equal to 1 over 1000 gram per centimeter cube. So if we want to put the value of 1 centimeter cube or convert the value of 1 gram per centimeter cube into kilogram per meter cube, then we have to multiply this the value in gram per centimeter cube by 1000 because it will get multiplied to the other side. So it will be equal to 1000 multiplied by this 0.8, that will be equal to 800 kilogram per meter cube. Then next we have a piece of metal has a mass of 50 gram and volume of 30 centimeter cube. Find its density. It is very easy. Mass is equal to 50 gram and volume is 30 centimeter cube. So we can put these values in the formula for density, that is 50 over 30 centimeter cube, that is equal to 1.67 gram per centimeter cube. This is the density of the piece of metal. Next we have density of water is 1 gram per centimeter cube. Write its value in SI units. Density of water is 1 gram per centimeter cube. It can be written as 1 gram divided by 1 centimeter cube. Now we know that in 1 gram there are 10 to the power minus 3 kilograms, because 1 kilogram is equal to 1000 grams, and if we find the value of 1 gram, it will be equal to 1 over 1000 kilogram, or we can say that it is 10 to the power minus 3 kilogram in 1 gram. So in 1 gram there are 10 to the power 3 kilograms, and similarly in 1 centimeter cube there are 10 to the power minus 6 meter cube, because we know that 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeter, and 1 meter cube will be equal to 100 multiplied by 100 multiplied by 100 centimeter cube, and the value in terms of meter cube will be 10 to the power minus 6 meter cube. So now the 10 to the power 3 minus 3 and 10 to the power minus 6 will add up, and they will give 10 to the power 3 kilogram per meter cube, because 10 to the power minus 3 is in the numerator, and when this value also goes up in the numerator, then it will become positive. So it will be equal to, bases are same now, powers can be added, so it will be equal to minus 3 plus 6, 10 to the power 3 kilogram per meter cube. The next one is speed. What is speed? Before going to the description of speed, let us have a look at the states of a body. States of a body means a body can be at rest or it can be in the motion, or an object can be at rest or it can be in the motion. So when a body is said to be rest, a body is said to be at rest if it does not changes its position with time and with respect to surroundings, or with respect to a reference point. Reference point is the origin of a journey, that is known as reference point. So a body is said to be rest only if it is not changing its position with respect to time and with respect to its surroundings. अगर वो टाइम के साथ या अपने आसपास के अकॉर्डिंग अपनी पोजीशन चेंज नहीं कर रही है, तो उस बॉडी को हम बोलेंगे कि दैट इज एट रेस्ट. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ दिस पेंसिल is at rest, then it will remain at rest until we apply an external force over it. But when it is moved, then it changes its position with respect to surrounding, and that time we will say that this body is in motion. So how we can define a body is in motion? On the other hand, a body is said to be in motion when it changes its position with time and with respect to its surroundings, or with respect to any reference point. That is, the body is said to be in motion. Now when objects are in motion, they can either move slow or fast. So there is a quantity or a parameter which tells us about the faster or slower motion of the objects, that is known as speed. Speed is the parameter which helps us to determine whether an object is moves at a faster rate or it moves at a slower rate, or we can say that speed tells us how fast a body is moving. Now what is speed? Speed is defined as the rate of change of motion. The rate of change of motion, or the distance traveled by an object in a given unit of time, that is known as speed. For example, if an object is moving and it covers a distance of 50 kilometer in a time of 1 hour. The time is 1 hour, and in 1 hour an object is covering a distance of 50 kilometer. Then we can say that that object has a speed of 50 kilometer per hour, because he has covered the object has covered distance of 50 kilometer in 1 hour. It means the speed is 50 kilometer per hour. So how we can define speed? It is the rate of change of motion or the distance traveled by an object in a given unit of time or in a given interval of time. That is known as speed. The SI unit of speed is meter per second because speed can be written as distance covered divided by time taken, or in symbolic form the speed is V, it is equal to distance covered divided by time taken. So distance has the units SI units meter and time taken has the units seconds. Time has units seconds. So the SI unit of speed is meter per second. And for calculating the speed of a slow moving object, there is another unit which is centimeter per second. And when the objects are traveling longer distances for longer periods of time, then we use the unit kilometer per hour. This is the bigger unit for speed. So we use this type of unit. Now we know that speed is a scalar quantity. It is a scalar quantity. Scalar quantity means it only needs magnitude to describe it and doesn't need any direction. Next, we have two types of motion, uniform motion and non-uniform motion. There are two types of motion mainly, uniform motion and non-uniform motion. Now what is uniform motion? In uniform motion, an object covers equal distances or in equal intervals of time. That means the speed of the object remains the same at all the intervals of time. For example, if an object is covering a distance of 40 km in first hour of the journey, then 40 km in the second hour of the journey, and 40 km in the other next hour of the journey, and each time the distance in each interval of time is same. That means it doesn't changes. It changes means it does not increases or it does not decreases. So this type of motion is known as uniform motion because the object is covering equal distances, 40 km, that is same, in equal intervals of time. That means 1 hour, that it means for each hour the distance covered is same. So this type of motion is known as uniform motion. In uniform motion, an object covers equal distances at equal intervals of time and the speed of the object remains same. If the speed here is 40 km per hour, then further it is also 40 km per hour. There is no change in the speed. That means speed neither increases nor it decreases. So this type of motion is known as uniform motion. Now what is non-uniform motion? In non-uniform motion, an object covers unequal distances in equal intervals or equal distances in unequal intervals of time. Thus, the speed of the object is not constant throughout motion. In such cases, average speed is calculated. For example, if the object is covering 40 km in 1 hour and in the next hour it is covering 20 km, in the next hour it is covering 25 km, and in each hour that distance covered is different. It means we can say this type of motion is non-uniform motion because the object is covering unequal distances. These are unequal distances in equal intervals of time, or we can say the reverse, that equal distances in unequal intervals of time. This is unequal distances in equal intervals of time, or that can be equal distances in unequal intervals of time. So the speed of the object in this type of motion is not constant. It is not same throughout the motion or throughout the journey. So this type of motion is known as non-uniform motion. And in such cases, average speed is calculated. The average of whole speed is taken. Next, we have some numericals based on the concept of speed. A cyclist cover 140 km in 7 hours. Express the speed of the cyclist in km per hour. It is very easy. Speed, we know that it is equal to distance over time, and speed we can calculate by putting the value of distance and time. Distance is 140 km and time is 7 hours. So it will be equal to 20 km per hour. Now next is Indira Express moves at a uniform speed of 240 km per hour. Uniform speed, which is not going to change throughout the whole motion. So the uniform speed is 240 km per hour. How long it will take to cover 30 km? So we have to calculate the time. Speed is given to us 240 km per hour, which is the uniform speed. Distance covered is 30 km. We know speed is equal to distance covered divided by time taken. Here we have to calculate the time. So time will be equal to speed divided by distance divided by the speed. Distance is 30 km divided by time speed, that is equal to 240 km per hour. So it will be equal to 0.125 hours. So in this way we can calculate the speed of the objects. Next we have express 18 km per hour in meter per second. How we can convert it? We can write it like this: 18 km divided by 1 hour. Now we know that in 1 kilometer there will be 1000 meters. So 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meter, and similarly 1 hour can be written as 3600 seconds. So it will be equal to 3600 seconds. After cutting, we will get 18 multiplied by 10 over 36. So 18 2s are 36 and 2 5s are 5 meter per second. So we can say that 18 km per hour is equal to 5 meter per second. In this way we can convert the speed in kilometer per hour to meter per second. Or we can follow the direct way. For example, 1 kilometer per hour can be written as 5 over 18 meter per second. So whenever we are given any value, for example, we have to convert 20 km per hour to meter per second, then what we will do? We will just multiply 20 by 5 over 18 meter per second. So after calculations, this will be the value in the meter per second. 10 2s are 20 and 9 2s are 18. So it will be 50 over 9. We can calculate the value in meter per second. Similarly, if we want to convert, or if we have to convert the speed in meter per second to kilometer per hour, how we can calculate? We know that we can write 1 meter per second like this, and we know that 1 meter will be equal to 1 over 1000 kilometer. It will be equal to 1 over 1000 kilometer, because 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meter, and if we find the value of meter in terms of kilometer, then that will be equal to 1 over 1000 kilometer. Similarly, 1 second is equal to 1 over 3600 hours. So it will be equal to 3600 divided by 1000 kilometer per hour, that is equal to 518. So it will be equal to 18 over 5 kilometer per hour. 1 meter per second is equal to 18 over 5 kilometer per hour. Just the reverse of this. 1 kilometer per hour is equal to 5 by 18 meter per second, and 1 meter per second is equal to 18 by 5 kilometer per hour. Similarly, if we have to convert 20 meter per second, for example, to kilometer per hour, how we can convert? We will just multiply 18 by 5 with this value 20, and we will get the value in kilometer per hour. So it is 5 4s are 20 and 18 4s are 72. So it will be equal to 72 kilometer per hour. So the speed, which is 20 in meter per second, that will be equal to 72 kilometer per hour. Thank you.